Then inside the form, I'm going to have this form. Okay. Where is that form? It's in this form, right? Okay. We don't have the CROA token here. Let me scroll down. Okay. Scroll down here. Now you see that we have this hidden CRFA token that we are not seeing, right? So we have the input, we have the name, then we have the value. So the value is the one that contains that CRFA token. But now this is only passing in HTML. It is not communicating with our agents. And in some cases, you may experience complication in terms of registration. You will see error like forbidden serial token not found, right? Now this is actually hidden. We are not seeing this because this is happening because we in our registration we have this serial token, right? Now how do we get this and add this in our address? How do we do it? So it's actually very simple. So what we are going to do is very simple, which I'm going to show you guys on how to how to fix it. I will fix it together, right? So what we are going to do here is if we come to our registration here, um, let's say here I'm going to create a variable called const, then have a let's say token. Let me just say CSRF token. All right. So now what I want to do now is that I want to get uh, this value or whatever we're having here, then pass in our Ajax during our Ajax request when we're sending requests to our Django server, because Django will not allow us for it to work. So yeah, I'm going to have input. So inside this input, I'm going to have name, right? So let's quickly do that. So to access something in our HTML, we need to use the dollar sign as usual. Then, so inside here, I'm going to have an input. So inside input, I'm going to have a value. Um, so we're going to have a value. So that value, I'm going to call this open and close bracket. Then name, because it's actually an attribute. Your attribute equals to. Then what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to pass in this CRF token. Then we'll do dot value, which you're actually going to get this for us, right? So here we are calling this which is input attribute. Inside the attribute, we are having CRF middleware token, which is what we are having here. Now to have access to this, we are going to use dot var, which is dot value. So let's do that. So we say here, go and say dot var dot value. So this will actually give us access to our CRFF token. So if we come here and say console dot log, so let's log that whatever we're having here, and then we also try to register, right? Sorry. Let's toggle CS token. Let's try to log this out and see what this thing is actually getting for us. Are we together, please? Do you understand this? If you don't understand, please let me know and why we are doing this.
We do.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so let me try to come here and try to register. So immediately we register, um, we have so let me check. So also have our console. Um, mm, what is we're supposed to have this here. So to have console the log. This is supposed to be logged in here. Let me bring this in. That's supposed to log in. Even before it logged here, it's supposed to log in here. Mhm. Then don't know why it's not logged in. So let's okay, we have sorry, I think we have to reload. Sorry, we have to reload. We didn't reload. So alright, let me do that. Okay, have you seen it now? Can see the CRF token that we have. Are you seeing it? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So even though
Yes, sir.
when it comes to this place, you can see the CRF token that we have and the one that we have here. Uh, Q9. You come to this place, see that we have what Q9. So that means we are getting our CRO token. Now, next thing we need to pass this in our Ajax. Um, get rid of this. I don't need this any longer. So we need to pass this in our Ajax request. Hmm? So in our Ajax request, because here this is a place is sending the request. So what we are going to do is that we are going to call header, right? So what we are going to do is now you're going to call the word header before the sources headers. So inside the headers, we're going to get a key of capital letter X, then all capital letter C S R F token, all cap. So all this will be CSRF token. Then because it's a dictionary, so we pass in the variable F token that we have, CF token, which is this token that um we have in here. So that's all you need to do for that error to what to stop. So let's put our comma here. All right. So our comma what again? Okay, sorry, we have to put dot here. So all right. So this is what we've been able to do. So let's try register. And okay, the last time, if you recall, the last class, um, our email is not working. So what I did was is to you can use my this um so I want to show you the email that I use that later worked for me. All right, okay. So this is the email that I used. So this actually worked perfectly well. It works 100% in terms of sending email. So you can use this or you can use Gmail. All depends on what you want to do. So let me quickly delete some of the emails. Okay, no need to delete. Let me reload and see if we have a new email. All right. So I want to go and register a new account, and so yeah, I'll have like okay. All right. Let me see Skyline. All right. So let me just create the account quickly. Then it say email already exists. Let me use um, doc to okay. I'm using this email. Let's try to register. Email already exists. Really? Already exists from where now? Okay, I already use the email. So let me delete the email and make sure that's okay. All right, let me try to submit. So let's wait for it. Register. Okay, now you can see that they redirected us here, right? If you recall what we did about the registration, um, if you go to what we did about the registration last time, according to what the guy explained, we have if that is successful, then we have it to redirect us to what? To email, right? Fantastic. So now let's check our email if we have any code. You can see we received the OTP one-time registration code which will expire in 30 minutes. Then let's copy this code. All right. So inside this code, let me try to unmute one. Then you can see invalid what code registration. Now, right now we are still, passing our 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 what's it call it? Our errors as JSON. You can see, look at the key here is error JSON. So let me then go verify the account. But before then, if you come here and click on this, you will see that the account we just created now, which is this account. Now, if you look at the email, please, who is this person now? Who is this person that is doing this thing? I'll remove you. Victor, mute your mic. Your head like, I don't know. All right. So if you look at this place now, you notice that email verification is what? It's actually bad. It's not verified. So what we want to do here is that we want to go and verify and then come back here and check if it's truly verified. So here, I have to go back, then put in the real email. Then you can see invalid. Um, okay.
The time has elapsed. That's why.
I'm not sure if the time has allowed, will not tell us invalid. You have to resend us the email. That's what we wrote. That's the logic that we wrote. Okay, let's try again. Okay, now it's have successfully what verified, right? So let's come back here and then reload. So you notice that we have what this man eh, successfully verified. So now this is actually what we did the last class that we had. But on today's class, we are going to continue in what we are going to do first is to get those errors and then print it in a very good format. Instead of taking us to another page, it will still bring us back to the current page we have. Of course, we are going to use Azures to do that. So before then, we have to, you have to come back here and then, so here, I'm going to first, when this thing is clicked, now, it will it will show verifying instead of verifying now, right? It will be disabled, and we've written the code already. So I don't like explaining. I'm just going to do copy and paste, please. I want to do copy and paste because we've written the code already several times. So I'm going to use the registration code, then come to verify. So if you come to register, uh, uh, I'm going to go down register. So I'm going to copy this, like I'm going to copy all this because now we change the business ID, the tests, right? And then the border. So I'm going to just copy this because we have explained this thing before. So let's copy this. So we have to verify which is this man here. So take care of this and then post it here. So I think this is what we have. So we need to change it to verify now. So we have register now. We'll change it to verify now. All right. So verify now. Verify now. So if we move the display to remove to none, let's see what's going to happen. So to none. to confirm that. So let's reload. All right, so you can see what we have here. So let's undo that. That means everything that we have here is working, but I'm going to change this ID to verify, to verify btn, which is this button. So if we want to change the test also, look at this test now. We also need to use verify test. So this ID will help us be able to what? To verify the test. Then spin is okay. Then another thing we also want to do here is that we need to give the ID of the form, right? So to be able to have access to the form, I can say ID verify form. So this will actually give us access to the form. All right. Um. What again? I'm not sure we have any other thing again to add up there. Everything that we need, we added it already. Let me confirm from here. So we have the form, which we've done already. All right. So let me close this. I'm gonna close this. Let me close almost everything that I do here. Now, I don't want to do this in registration. Registration code is already much for us, right? So I'm going to create a new file under custom. So I'm going to say um, email email underscore verify, right, dot json dot js, right? So this is actually the email verified. So after creating it, next thing is to link this particular file to our header where we have which is verification, right? So that's what we are going to do there. I'm going to go to close it, then go to my header. So inside my header, let me check the one that we created. So I'm going to copy this and duplicate. Um, so then inside static we have this. I'm just going to right click. I'm a lazy type, I don't like typing much, so let me just copy. Then yeah, I'm going to come here and replace it to what? So the registration, I'm going to use this verify, and then to confirm if it's properly linked, if it is working. So yeah, I'm going to say console the word dot log. To be able to print something on our console, I'll say hello world, right? So come back and then reload. Okay, so right click, we have inspect, then we have console. You can see what we have here, hello world. That means it's actually what working for us. Okay, so moving ahead, um what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to hand code everything so that those people who don't understand about this, now we want to start writing our address. So I want, before our address will start working, I want this particular document to reload completely. So for it, how will I know that this document, this page I've been able to load completely? Because this page is called document, right? So I'm going to say document dot what dot ready, right? If the document dot ready, so yeah, I'm going to call dollar sign, of course. Yeah, I'm going to put document. Then aside here, I will put dot what dot ready. So if the document is ready, then I call in a what a function. Then inside that function, my function will not going to have name, right? But it's going to have what do you call it? It's going to have this. So inside here, I'm going to call this semicolon. So this is how it look like, right? So dot ready, and then inside the function, if actually is ready, let it do something, right? We can say console.log. If it's ready, show console.log, right? But it's not necessary. Now, if it is ready, I want to have access to the entire form. Now, for me to have access to this entire verification form, we come to this OTP verification. Inside here, you will see that we have what? Verify what? Form as an ID. So we need to call that ID. Quickly here we can say um, um, put $, then hash passing the what, the ID of the form, right? So we can say dot on if the document is submitted. If somebody click on the submit page, so here I'm going to pass in what, submit. So if somebody click on the document, that means if it is submitted, what is actually going to happen? So here I'm going to also create another function that will track what the user have been able to submit, right? So this function will track the user, what the user have been submitted, while this function will be in charge of whenever it's ready. So we have a function inside another function. So here we're going to pass in e. So this is like a variable that can be able to record whatever. So this document, this one will run whenever the document is ready, whenever the document is submitted. Why this particular function will run whenever the document is ready? So whenever the document is ready, you can click on submit for this button to run. But this one will run whenever the document is ready. I hope you understand. So here I have submit function, then we have e. So why do we have this e? Now this e now will be a variable or a parameter that will record every information, every access to our form. So that's what e is doing. Later we're going to console log this e. Now, in order to, if I come here and say console.log, then I log in that e. Sorry, log in that e. So now what I'm going to do here is that I'll come here, then inspect. Then let me submit. Now, if you submit, notice that when we submit, the page will reload. And when it reloads, we will not be able to see whatever will console the log. Now, to prevent this page from loading, so what we are going to do is actually very, very simple. We are going to, I'm going to say, we're going to call that e dot. It can be form, it can be anything, right? It can be ahead. So e dot prevent, capital letter D, default. Prevent what? The default. So now let's go and console the log again and see what's going to happen. So let's go back to the form. Okay, let me load. Now, immediately I click on load, you can see the form did not reload again. Now, what we are seeing here is that we are seeing all the form, right? So this particular man here is actually talking to the form. So this is actually every information that we have here in the form. Let me reload again and try to show you something. So here now, if I come here and put something like 30. So let's submit, and then now immediately I click on submit. Now when you scroll down, you can see that we have the target of the form. You can see that we have the submit, right, of the form. Trying to, so here you can see the origin. I want to show you the input of the form. Let's go to where the input of the form is. Form elements. Okay, that form element, you can see that we have input 1, input 2, then we have we won't have all the information, which I'm not going to show you all, but just bear in mind that this particular e is actually talking to the entire, both the input value, everything. I'm looking to where we have targets. Can't see that target. Okay, look at where we have target. Good. Inside this target now, you can see this 0 is talking to the first form, right? So you scroll down, which you are going to see whatever the user have entered, which is actually very long. So to see it's actually very long, the value. So this target, eh, consider the target is talking to what? The target talking to the entire form. Dot value will get to all the information here. So let me go back there. Now, if the user click on submit, prevent default, what again? I also want to get the button, right? I can say const. I'll just copy and paste because no need to type in all these things. And then explain because we've done all this before. All right. So if that is happened, copy and paste. I'm going to explain all this. So this one is Dix. It's talking to the entire form, and then here we want to get the form, that the button or the form. So this is the button. Let's scroll down. So the button of the form is what? Verify BTN, which is this button you are seeing. So we want to get access to the button. So here we're going to remove this and put verify. So the spin also, I think the spin is the same thing. We don't need to change it. Then the text of the button, the text of our button, which is verified text. So yeah, we are going to have verified text. Now, of course, note that we have access to all this information. Now, the next thing I'm going to do that we have access to all this. Now, if the form is submitted, I want to change this text. And where is this text? This particular text. And where are we getting this text? Of course, we have an ID, right? ID that is actually getting this text, which is what? This ID. So I want this particular man to change to a different thing. So if you click on submitted, I will say, if that has happened, I'll call $, the BTN text, and then I'll say dot what's it calling? BTN does test, right? So that's what they're going to do. Okay, let's fire down. So BTN dot what? Dot text. So inside this text, I'm going to open this where I'll say verifying, right? So right, verifying. So when it's loading, it should show what? Verifying. So let's go and reload. And then if this form is submitted, so what do we have? Can see what we have here. We have what? Verifying, right? Can see it's showing verifying if it's clicked, right? So the next thing I'm also going to do that if it is clicked also, this particular man should show, because in our HTML, if you come here, we are hiding it, display to what? To none. So we want it to what? To show. Are we communicating, please? If I'm communicating, I want to see you. I want to see you indicate. Don't feel like I'm talking to myself. All right, so we call the spinner. Please, if you are hearing me, give me a thumbs up. If you are hearing me, give me a thumbs up, please. Hello?
Can hear you. Yeah, with you. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
We are with you.
Okay, so I want to come here and say dot show. All right. Okay. Um. So let's give it that. Can see it's showing. All right. Okay. Then another thing I'm going to do is also disable the button. So we're having the button through this to disable the button. So what I'm going to do here is that I'll call btn dot property, which is prop. Inside these properties, I'm going to pass in uh, disabled, a class of disabled, then which I'm going to set to what? To true, right? So inside the disabled now, when they come here and you click on this, so you can see verifying. Now it's actually disabled, but it's not for me. I'm not convinced because if it's disabled, the color should be able to change, right? So we're going to go. I'm going to add CSS right on this button using the Ajax. So if it actually disabled, I'm going to say dots here. I call the word the CSS. Then inside CSS, I'm going to call this and then um and I'm going to call it as what? As if as a I'm going to call it as an object. So of course, object, we have a background, color. So inside the background color here, I'm going to have I have color already. Let me just copy and paste the color here. All right. Oh, sorry. All right. Okay. So this is the color. So let's try that out and see if it's working. Oh, sorry. Okay, you can see the color. The color is working. So I also want to disable this what's it called, the pointer. So I will say also I'll have not allowed, right? So let's check it out. Oh fuck, sorry. All right, so you can see that it's actually disabled. All right, so another thing I also want to do is the CRF token, which is also very important. So I'm going to come here and still copy the same thing. I'm going to copy the CRF token here, which is this. I already explained to this. I don't need to explain it again. So paste it here. All right. So next thing we're going to do now is to start calling Aja. So we want to communicate to this particular man directly. So every other thing we are doing, we are just doing on the front end. So we want to communicate to the back end. So what we are going to do is that we come here and we call $ dot Ajas. So we open and then put it as an object. Because it's an object, so object will have a value of type. So the type of request we are sending, of course, we all know that it's post. I mean, the request we are sending is post because we are actually dropping something from the server. So the URL, now the URL here, which we are going to check the URL here. So let's check verify. So we're going to copy this based on the setting that we have. So we're going to pass in this here as slash verified. So put comma here. All right, the next one I'm going to do is data. Which data are we passing to? So we want to serialize the data. You can see, let's check that this. What do we use now? This. So now, what to serialize this data? So I'm going to call the form dot serialize, right? Form dot serialize. So this form dot serialize here. This is what we are going to do. So we have to also pass in comma here. Sorry, comma. So the next one we are going to put is the data type. The data we are sending, the type of the data. Data type. The type of the data. So the type of the data is JSON. JSON. So the last one is the header. The headers, and then so inside this header, I'm going to pass in the in all cap. Let me just copy and paste. So no need to bother anymore because we don't have time. All right. So I'm going to put comma here. All right. So inside here, I'm going to check success. So if it's successful, if actually this man is successful, so what you're going to do, we're going to call success because it's actually an object. So passing function. Inside this function, we are going to have response, right? So if it's true, so I'm going to have response. Let me put comma here. So response, I'll just say console.log the response that we're getting. We'll console log response. So next one, if it is error, so after success, if it's not successful, then the error, I put comma here, and I'm going to call error, right? We're going to call error, and then so here we are going to say error, real error function. So inside this function, I'm going to have error. So we're going to have an error. So now the console.log error. So okay, sorry. All right, we are writing the function the wrong way. Okay, so that is all. So let's try to see the error that we're going to have. So let's submit, because we're going to have an error. So we have an error, console.log. Okay, so look at the error that we're having here. Verification code is not provided. Verification code is not provided. So we can say, you can say have response. The key here is error. So be able to get this error, it can be response.error, right? If you want to get this particular error now. So to do that, we can be what? Response.what.error, right? So let me copy that. Response.what error. So let's check it out. I think there's a problem. Maybe an error. We're not getting anything. Okay. Okay, it could be error.response. Sorry. It's going to be this error. Yes, error.response.error. Right. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So you can see what we have. Now, so how do we pass this in? How do we pass this in this thing? It's actually very simple. So I just want to copy this. Because please, if you have not following up, go and check our previous video so they can be able to learn. So I'm going to call this error. All right. So it should just give us error. So let me pass this error here. So error should now give us any error that we're having. Yeah. So this is just a toast alert or toast alert. So let's reload, and then so if we try to get the error, you can see that we have verification code is not provided. So let's also check the one that is successful. Also put it the one that is actually successful. So we're going to pass the success there. All right. All right. So good. So let's try type another thing here. So we type, you can see the error that we have is an invalid word, invalid error. So another thing we also want to do is that before I continue, let me also do a code review of what we've done so far. So we start from here. So if you look at here, we want the document to be ready before before this function can run. So when the document is ready, so what we did here was to get the entire form by using verify form ID, which is an ID that we use in the form. So you can see this one is actually in the form. So this will give access to the entire form, right? Then you go back here, we have dot on submit. So this dot on submit means that if the document, if user click on submit, right, then we call in a function and passing e. So this e that we are passing is actually a parameter that have access to the entire form, right? Then we use dot prevent. So dot prevent is to prevent the page from loading. So we use .this. So .this here is giving us access to all the form information, both the value, in order to enable us to realize it, right? In order to enable us to realize. Realize means that to convert it to JSON, all the value the user is entering, to convert that value to JSON, to enable us send it to to JSON and then be able to have access to the error or whatnot. So the next one here is that btn verify. So this btn verify is actually referring to the verify button that you're seeing here. So this will give access to this entire button to have access to disable it or to change the color. Then we have spinner. So this spinner is giving access to the spinner, which is dot here means that we are having access to the spinner as a class. So this class is what you saw here. You can also have it as an ID. All depends on what you need. Then this verified text, of course, this is actually giving access to the verified text here so that we can be able to change this text whenever we click on submit. So if you come down here, when they click on submit, then you are going to change the text to verify. You can see this particular variable dot text verifying. Then the spin will now start showing, because if you come to this place, you notice that we disable to hide, right? So we want to turn it to show. Then after that also we use btl.prom. So we want to disable the form, the button, not only disabling the button, we also want to add some css, the color, and also the button should not be allowed. Then here we are getting our CSRF token. Then here also we want to send in a response to the server. So if all these conditions are met, they want to send the response to the server. So the response to the server passing a post, and then the URL in question, which is in our Django, depends on how you structure your look at how my this is structured, so that you will not go and make mistake. So if you are structuring, you make sure you structure it here. Don't add any for any name here. If you're adding any name, that means you're going to structure it differently. So what I mean is that, for example, if you're having something like account here, and then inside this account you have your URL. Let me check that URL. So inside this account you have this here URL. So what you're expected to do here is that you are going to pass it this way. In this address you're going to pass it this way, slash what this, right? So this is what you're going to do. So so I want to revert back to my previous code. All right. So because I'm not having any parameter here, so I will just pass it that way. So good. And then we also have form to serialize. Like I told you, it doesn't necessarily that we need to serialize the entire field the user is entering. So we serialize it. It means that we are converting the entire form to JSON. So the data type we are passing is JSON. There we will be able to integrate the CRF token to the request that we are submitting. Plus we are hitting the Django view. That's why we need this. So yeah, if it's successful, then we have this response.success. So this response.success will get the key of our success. Where are we getting this success from? So that's actually in our view. So if we come here, we have error, we have success. So that's why we're having this as success, right? So if this is not successful, you now go to the error. So I think this is what we've done so far. Any question, please? If you don't have question, tell me no question so that we can fire down. Any question? If you don't have question, hello? Come, this children, maybe I don't understand. Huh? Okay. Network. Oh. Network. Network. Let me pause this.
Bingo.
Okay, so my phaeton. Where do I stop?
Yeah.
Hmm? Hello?
Hello.
Where do I stop? Where do we stop?
Is you console log the error now. You were trying to put the error dot response dot json dot error here.
He was explaining the code, giving overview about the code to
Okay,
the
I think
to the
I'm done.
students.
I'm done with an overview. So let's test the code now and see what we've done so far. All right. So
So have you started recording?
yes, I'm recording. All right. So if you submit here and we have an error, so it should be able to stop. All these things are able to stop, and also um it should be able to stop. So that's what you want to do. You should be able to stop and probably clear the form as well, right? If you submit, it should stop and then clear the form. So to do that, it's actually very simple. So I want if there's an error, the form should. So if there's an error, the form should reset. So because I have the entire form here, using this variable, that's actually the entire form. So scroll down, and then I have. So I'm going to have to access to that variable. You have to call the dollar sign. Then I want to reset the form. Put 0 here. Then dot reset. So you should be able to understand what I'm doing here. So I'm resetting the form. So that 0 that we are, if you recall when we do console.log, when we'll be able to log the form itself, you see on the target we have 0 there. So this will be able to, sorry, this will be able to reset the form. Then not just resetting, it should hide the, let me just copy and paste. I don't think I have much things there. Um, just copy and paste. All right. So it should hide the spin and then disable and remove the background. Then here it should verify now. The button should be back to verify now. Verify now. All right. So then um that is all. If that's an error, so let's try that. So we submit. You can see that immediately you submit, are you seeing it? It will disable it and then bring it back. So all right. So let also do the same thing on the sources. So I'll just copy uh the same thing on the sources and put the sources. So yeah, if you're actually successful, all right. So that is all. We are done. Let's try to verify. So if it's actually successful, if you verified, um, I don't know where it should take us to, but I think you're able to take us to dashboard, right? Or log or you're able to take us to login. So I've not created login yet, so we're not going to do that one. So let's try to verify. Um, I'm going to delete this, create a new account. Um, all right. So back. All right, let's sign up. All right. So we're trying to sign in another account. They have to talk to. Let's check this out. Admin. I just want to copy just admin and paste. Getting no much things. So looking for you to register. So you have sent. Let's check our email. Okay, so our phone. All right. All right. Can see that email verified successfully. So okay, I think that is all about the email verification. Um, so next class we'll learn about the login because you're almost 11. We'll learn about the login and then login and what's it call it uh, and profile. So when you register, you should go to log you in, take it to login, and then when you log in, you take it to the dashboard. So if you are not updated your profile, you take it to where you update your profile. If it's the first time about logging in, you take it to the where you update your profile. So whenever you also want to log in, you check if the person have updated his profile. If you have not, so we'll work on profile, then work on security features such as we'll try to work with Google Auth. So this Google Auth. So most of you have it in Facebook. Google Authenticator. This we are going to work with Google Authenticator. How many of you know about Google Authenticator? Where you can use your app. Hmm?
You have done assignment on it before now.
No. You are not done assignment on it.
We have.
No. The one you did is Google's social auth now, where you
No.
can sign up with Google. But the one that can give you token, where you can use your phone and download the app. Sometimes if you go to Facebook, right, if you want to log in your Facebook, they'll ask you if you activate it.
Google authentication.
Yes,
Not authentication app. Okay,
yes,
no
exactly.
problem.
So we are going to learn how to. In fact, no need, no need. The assignment, um, assignment. Wednesday that will be submitted on Thursday. Um, visionaries.
I'm
Which
still
visionary?
choke. We are
Which
still choke. Oh.
which visionaries? Visionary. If you remember a visionary, please indicate.
I am.
Okay, so the guy, you held the missionary team and assigned this project. So what are guys going to build? You are going to build the login with. I'm not going to teach login. No. I don't repeat. If you did not, anybody that did not participate will pay 8,000. Anybody that did not participate will pay 8,000 naira. So I don't tell you.